Have you ever felt the suffocating weight of forgotten things within your own four walls? The silent accumulation of years, turning cherished spaces into cluttered battlegrounds? It's insidious, isn't it? How easily dust gathers on relics you can't bear to part with, even as they steal the air you breathe. But listen closely. Before you reach your 70th birthday, there's a reckoning long overdue. A ruthless purge of household items that are not just taking up space, but subtly leeching the joy from your days. This isn't about minimalism or starkness. It's about liberating yourself. In this video, we're diving headfirst into the 6 specific categories of household possessions that are weighing you down more than you possibly realize. These are the silent anchors, the relics of lives lived and outgrown, the objects whispering anxieties into the corners of your mind. Whether you're clinging to things out of sheer habit, burdened by outdated belongings that no longer spark joy, or quietly suffocated by objects that add stress to your daily routine, you're about to discover why letting go is not about loss, but about reclaiming your life. Prepare yourself. This is about freedom. Let's begin. Number 1. Worn out and unused furniture. This is where the battle often begins. The hulking, silent invaders that colonize your living space. Over decades, it's frighteningly easy to accumulate a motley collection of chairs, tables, and cabinets, pieces that might have been lifesavers once, but now stand as forgotten sentinels, monuments to a past that no longer serves you. And the brutal truth is, holding on to furniture that is neither functional nor comfortable is more than a mere inconvenience. It's a subtle form of self-inflicted torment. Think about it. That monstrous recliner slumped in the corner, its springs groaning in protest with every movement, perpetually unoccupied. The cavernous dining table scarred with the ghosts of family gatherings long past, now a lonely island in a sea of space. The dresser drawers that shriek and jam with every desperate tug, a daily reminder of frustration and decay. These aren't enhancements to your life, they're parasitic growths, feeding on your space and your peace. As you age, navigating a labyrinth of unnecessary furniture becomes a genuine hazard, each obstacle a potential fall, each crowded room a breeding ground for anxiety. Take Frank, for example. At 74, his house was less a home and more a mausoleum of memories. Inherited armoires loomed like disapproving ancestors. Thrift store finds had multiplied into a chaotic jumble. Well-meaning gifts from friends had become unwelcome roommates. Once, it felt cozy, a testament to a life richly lived. But now, moving through his house was a frustrating obstacle course. Cleaning became a Herculean task, each room a suffocating reminder of the clutter he couldn't conquer. He felt trapped. Then, his daughter visited. One casual observation, a single pinprick of truth, burst the bubble. "Dad," she said gently, "you have 5 chairs in the living room and you only ever use 2. The realization hit him like a physical blow. It was time. He started with ruthless determination, 1 room at a time. The broken chair with the leg that threatened to give way with the slightest pressure, gone. The imposing coffee table that transformed a simple walk into an Olympic hurdle, out the door. And as each piece vanished, a wave of unexpected relief washed over him. His home felt lighter, airier, as if it could finally breathe. More inviting, easier to live in. That's the insidious truth about furniture. When it serves its purpose, it elevates your existence. But when it becomes dead weight, it insidiously drains your energy, turning your sanctuary into a prison. You don't need a house bursting at the seams to create a home. The less you hoard, the more profoundly you appreciate the treasures that remain. If you're clutching onto furniture that's become a burden, ask yourself, with brutal honesty, when was the last time I used this? If you hesitate, if you have to strain to remember, it's time. Because a home that flows, that's easy to clean, and that radiates genuine joy is infinitely more precious than any unused chair gathering dust in. The shadows. Number 2. Clothes you never wear. The ghosts of outfits past, hanging in silent judgment. We all do it. Cling to garments that haven't seen the light of day in years. A suit that mocks your current waistline. A dress shimmering with the faded glamour of a long-ago special occasion. A mountain of ancient t-shirts, faded and threadbare, gathering dust in the abyss of your drawers. Before you turn 70, it's time for a merciless reckoning. A wardrobe audit of epic proportions. Do you need all this? Because the grim reality is, a closet crammed with unworn clothes isn't just a space hog. It's a source of low-grade, persistent anxiety. Clothes are powerful objects. They whisper of memories, both triumphant and painful. That jacket you wore when you landed the big promotion. Those jeans you practically lived in during your carefree youth. Even those shoes languishing at the bottom of the closet, pinching your toes with phantom pain. You might not consciously acknowledge them, but they're there, silently draining your energy. For many, discarding old clothes feels like severing ties with the past. But consider this. Your closet should be a vibrant reflection of who you are. Today, not a dusty archive of who you used to be. Take Linda, for instance. At 72, she faced a daily battle with her overflowing closet, a chaotic jumble of garments whispering forgotten promises. Dresses from the 80s, shoulder pads sharp enough to draw blood, jackets untouched for decades, smelling faintly of mothballs and regret, shoes that looked stunning but felt like instruments of torture. Every morning, she stood paralyzed, overwhelmed by a sea of choices, most of which were utterly impractical, relics of a life she no longer lived. Then she snapped. She pulled everything out, creating a chaotic mountain on her bed. 3 piles, clothes she genuinely loved and wore with joy, clothes that no longer fit, physically or emotionally, and the dreaded just-in-case pile. That last one was a brutal battleground. But as she began to relinquish garments she hadn't touched in years, a profound shift occurred. She wasn't losing anything. She was gaining. Space, clarity, a wardrobe. That simplified her life, rather than complicating it. That's the revelation. When you declutter your clothes closet, you're not merely shedding fabric, you're streamlining your daily existence. Mornings become effortless. Dressing becomes a joy, not a chore. You move through life unburdened by unnecessary baggage. And the ultimate reward? Those discarded clothes can find new life, providing warmth and dignity to someone in need. So, if your closet is a suffocating vortex of unworn garments, ask yourself the pivotal question. Do I need this? If it constricts, if it chafes, if it whispers of regret, if it hasn't seen the light of day in years, let it go. Because at this stage of the game, you deserve a wardrobe that empowers you, not one that imprisons you. If you're finding these insights valuable, comment number 2 below. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that button and the bell so you don't miss out. Number 3. Expired medications and old toiletries. The silent, lurking danger lurking in your bathroom. Cabinet. One of the most insidious forms of household clutter is likely lurking right now behind that mirrored door. Expired medications and forgotten toiletries. They accumulate with alarming speed, unnoticed, unmourned. Ancient bottles of pain relievers, half-empty prescription vials from ailments long past, skincare products you purchased on a whim and instantly regretted. Before you know it, your drawers and cabinets have transformed into a toxic waste dump of forgotten promises. And even worse, some of it could be downright dangerous. Medications expire for a reason. Their efficacy wanes over time, their potency fading like a ghost. In some cases, they can even undergo chemical changes, transforming into something actively harmful. Clinging to old prescriptions just in case might seem prudent, but it's a dangerous illusion. If you ever truly need that medication again, you need a fresh prescription, tailored to your current health needs, prescribed by a doctor who understands your present condition. And yet, countless homeowners harbor miniature pharmacies of expired pills, blissfully unaware of the potential risks lurking within. Toiletries are no different. That ancient bottle of lotion, thick with dust and forgotten dreams. That tube of sunscreen, dating back to a vacation you barely remember. That perfume you stopped wearing a decade ago. Its scent is now a cloying reminder of a life outgrown. These things aren't timeless treasures. They have a shelf life. Many people don't realize that skincare products and cosmetics also have expiration dates, subtly ticking down, counting the days until they transform from beauty enhancers into potential irritants. Using them past their prime can trigger rashes, allergic reactions, even infections. And still, we cling, fueled by the misguided belief that someday we'll resurrect these forgotten relics. Take Robert, a meticulous man, a proud homeowner. At 75, he prided himself on the orderliness of his home. Then, one day, while searching for a simple bandage, he opened his medicine cabinet and froze. He was staring into a pharmaceutical abyss. Expired painkillers. Their promises of relief long since evaporated. Half-used tubes of antibiotic cream, their effectiveness a distant memory. A prescription for a condition he could barely recall. It was all just sitting there, a silent testament to neglect. He spent the next hour meticulously sorting, discarding, and organizing. He was shocked by the sheer volume of useless, potentially hazardous items he had been harboring, and as he cleared out the clutter, a wave of clarity washed over him. He felt safer. He knew that everything remaining in his cabinet was current, effective, and ready to serve its purpose. That's the profound truth. Decluttering your medications and toiletries isn't just about tidying up. It's about safeguarding your health. It's about taking control, about possessing only what you genuinely need, and about releasing the unnecessary burdens that threaten your well-being. When you purge the expired medications, you create space for the remedies that truly matter. When you banish the ancient toiletries, you simplify your routine and ensure that everything you apply to your skin is fresh and beneficial. So, if it's been months, years even, since you last audited your medicine cabinet or bathroom drawers, stop what you're doing and do it now. Scrutinize every item. If it's expired, toss it responsibly. If it's a prescription you no longer need, dispose of it safely, preventing potential misuse. And when it comes to toiletries, be brutally honest. If you haven't used it in over a year, if it's a relic of a life outgrown, release it. Embrace the simplicity of possessing only what serves you, protecting your health, and reclaiming your peace of mind. Number 4. Old papers, documents, and unused mail. The silent avalanche burying you under the weight of yesterday's news. One of the most ubiquitous forms of clutter, yet one of the easiest to ignore, is the relentless accumulation of paper. Over the years, it multiplies like a malignant organism, sprawling across tables, overflowing from drawers, crammed into dusty folders, and entombed in forgotten boxes. Outdated bills, expired warranties, instruction manuals for appliances you no longer own. The sheer volume of unnecessary paperwork in most homes is staggering. Before you reach 70, it's time to seize control, to stop the avalanche before it buries you alive. Paper clutter isn't merely about wasted space. It's a source of chronic, low-level stress, a nagging reminder of unfinished tasks and looming responsibilities. Imagine the frustration of desperately searching for a vital document, only to be confronted by a chaotic mountain of irrelevant papers that should have been shredded years ago. The feeling of being perpetually behind, as unopened mail cascades across your kitchen counter, whispering accusations of neglect. The cold, hard truth is that most of the papers we cling to are utterly unnecessary. Letting them go is an act of self-preservation. Take Barbara, for example. At 73, her filing cabinet was less an organizational tool and more a time capsule of forgotten obligations. Old utility bills dating back decades, receipts for purchases long forgotten, tax returns from the Reagan era, gathering dust and judgment. Papers that had sat undisturbed for decades, serving no purpose but to consume space and fuel her anxiety. Then the inevitable crisis struck. Frantically searching for a crucial insurance document, she was forced to confront the true extent of her paper problem. The epiphany was brutal. The realization was liberating. She embarked on a ruthless purge, keeping only the essential documents. By the time she was finished, she had reduced her paperwork by more than half. For the first time in years, she knew exactly where to find what she needed. A profound victory over chaos. That's the transformative power of decluttering papers. You're not just reclaiming physical space in your home, you're clearing mental space in your mind. You're freeing yourself from the insidious mental clutter that accompanies towering stacks of mail, piles of outdated documents, and folders, crammed with things you'll never need. And the ultimate game changer? In today's digital age, most crucial records can be accessed online. You no longer need to cling to physical copies of everything. So, how do you begin? Sort through your paperwork with a critical eye, fueled by ruthless honesty. If you haven't glanced at it in years, the chances are overwhelming that you don't need it. Shred old bank statements and expired contracts, consigning them to the oblivion they deserve. Recycle manuals for appliances that have long since met their demise. Retain only the essential legal, financial, and medical documents, organizing them in a logical system that allows for easy retrieval. And when it comes to mail, break the cycle of accumulation. Junk mail? Toss it immediately without a second thought. Bills? Pay them promptly and file only what's necessary. Newsletters or magazines you never read? Cancel those subscriptions with gleeful abandon. The goal is simple. Keep only the papers that actively serve a purpose, that contribute to your well-being. Release the rest. Let the avalanche subside. Reclaim your peace of mind. If you're finding this helpful, comment number 4 below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. Number 5. Kitchen items you never use. The culinary graveyard, filled with gadgets and dreams gone stale. The kitchen, a space that should be a vibrant hub of creativity and nourishment. But, all too often, it devolves into a cluttered battleground, a graveyard of forgotten culinary aspirations. Cabinets overflow with mismatched containers, their lids lost to the ages. Drawers are crammed with utensils you never use, their purpose a distant mystery. Old pots and pans gather dust in the shadows, their surfaces scratched and scarred, whispering tales of culinary failures. Before you reach 70, it's time for a brutal kitchen purge, a liberation from the clutter that's suffocating your culinary joy. Many people cling to kitchen items out of habit, fueled by a misguided sense of obligation. That fancy set of dishes you've been saving for a special occasion that never seems to arrive. Small appliances you purchased with great enthusiasm, only to be abandoned after a single disappointing use. Perhaps you're even hoarding multiple versions of the same tool, a chaotic collection of spatulas, a dizzying array of coffee mugs, an overflowing drawer of plastic lids with no matching containers. But here's the harsh truth. A kitchen, crammed with unused and unnecessary items, doesn't simplify your life. It actively sabotages it. It transforms a space of potential joy into a source of daily frustration. Take George, for example. At 76, he had resided in the same house for decades. Over those years, his kitchen had gradually transformed into a monument to culinary excess. Blenders, food processors, and toasters stood sentinel on the countertops, untouched for years. Plates and glasses were stacked precariously high in the cabinets, threatening to avalanche with the slightest disturbance. Drawers were crammed with gadgets he didn't even remember buying, their purpose long forgotten. Every time he needed a simple tool or a specific dish, he was forced to navigate a treacherous obstacle course, battling through layers of clutter, his anxiety levels rising with each passing moment. Then, one fateful day, while searching for a humble baking pan, he accidentally triggered a cascade of unused baking sheets. The resulting crash was a wake-up call. Enough was enough. He embarked on a systematic decluttering campaign, tackling his kitchen one section at a time, fueled by a single, brutally honest question. Do I use this? If the answer was no, the item was banished. Duplicates were ruthlessly culled. Expired spices and pantry items were unceremoniously tossed. That bread maker he bought with such enthusiasm, used once and then relegated to the back of the cabinet, donated. By the time he was finished, his kitchen felt like a completely different space, more functional, more organized, and, most importantly, infinitely easier to use. The sense of liberation was palpable. That's the profound benefit of releasing kitchen items you never use. You create a space that works for you, not against you. Cooking becomes simpler, a source of joy rather than frustration. Cleaning takes less time, freeing you to pursue more meaningful activities, and you no longer feel overwhelmed by cluttered countertops or stuffed cabinets. You don't need an overflowing kitchen to prepare good meals. You just need the essentials, the tools that genuinely contribute to your culinary endeavors. So, take a long, hard look around. If it's been years, if it's simply gathering dust, if it's something you're only keeping just in case, then it's time to let it go. Because a kitchen filled with only what you use isn't just easier to manage. It transforms your daily life, making it smoother, more enjoyable, and more conducive to genuine culinary delight. Number 6. Sentimental items that no longer serve you. The emotional minefield, where memories and possessions become hopelessly entangled. One of the most challenging aspects of decluttering is confronting sentimental items. Old letters, cherished gifts, souvenirs from past vacations, boxes filled with memories from different eras of your life. These objects carry profound emotional weight, which is precisely why so many people struggle to release them, even when they've become a burden. But here's a critical question to ask yourself before you reach 70. Are these sentimental objects genuinely enriching your life, bringing you joy and comfort? Or are they simply taking up space, both physical and emotional, weighing you down with the ghosts of the past? Many people cling to sentimental items out of guilt, fueled by the fear of disrespecting the memories they represent. A gift from a relative who has passed away, a stack of greeting cards from birthdays long ago, childhood keepsakes from your kids or grandkids. These objects remind us of important relationships, significant moments, and pivotal experiences. But they can also become overwhelming, transforming from cherished mementos into suffocating burdens. The truth is, memories don't reside within objects. They exist within you. Clinging to an excessive amount of sentimental clutter doesn't honor the past. It actively sabotages your present, hindering your ability to fully embrace the here and now. Take Helen, for example. At 78, she had been diligently hoarding boxes and boxes of old letters, faded photographs, travel souvenirs, and childhood keepsakes, carefully preserved from every stage of her life. When she made the difficult decision to downsize and move into a smaller home, she was forced to confront the true extent of her sentimental clutter. She had an entire storage unit filled with things she hadn't even looked at in years, a silent testament to her inability to let go. At first, the thought of discarding anything felt utterly impossible. What if she forgot the memories attached to those items? What if releasing them felt like erasing a part of her life? The anxiety was crippling, but then she experienced a profound shift in perspective. Instead of clinging to everything, she resolved to become selective, to curate her memories with intention and care. She kept a few truly meaningful items: her wedding album, a handful of heartfelt letters from loved ones, a small collection of souvenirs that never failed to evoke a smile. The rest, she released. She donated items that could still be useful to others, giving them a second life. She took photographs of objects she wanted to remember but didn't necessarily need to keep physically, creating a digital archive of her treasured memories. And as she did, something remarkable happened. She experienced a profound sense of relief, a feeling of lightness she hadn't felt in years. That's the transformative power of decluttering sentimental items. It doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means making space to fully embrace the present. It means keeping the best, the most meaningful, the most evocative, and releasing the rest, freeing yourself from the weight of unnecessary baggage. It means choosing to surround yourself with objects that genuinely bring you joy, rather than objects that weigh you down with guilt, obligation, or a sense of what should be. So, if you've been clinging to sentimental items that have become more of a burden than a blessing, take a moment for honest self-reflection. Do you truly need to keep every letter, every souvenir, every keepsake to remember the people and experiences that have shaped your life? Or can you hold those memories securely within your heart, while freeing up space in your home and in your soul? Because at this stage in life, the most valuable possessions aren't the ones collecting dust in boxes. They're the ones that bring you peace, joy, and a profound sense of connection every single day. If you found this section particularly helpful, comment number 6 below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Final thoughts. A call to action. As we draw this exploration to a close, take a moment to reflect on the 6 categories of household items we've discussed. Decluttering before you turn 70 isn't merely about tidying up. It's about fundamentally reshaping your living space and your life. It's about creating a home that feels lighter, easier to manage, and more deeply aligned with the person you are today. Each item you release isn't a loss. It's a conscious step toward simplicity, clarity, and a profound sense of inner peace. Which of these 6 categories resonated most deeply with you? Which do you see reflected most clearly in your own home? Perhaps you've already begun the process of releasing furniture that no longer serves you. Perhaps you've recognized how much easier your life would be without the burden of old papers, unused kitchen gadgets, or sentimental objects that have outlived their purpose. Or perhaps this video has sparked a new perspective, a realization that decluttering isn't simply about getting rid of things. It's about embracing freedom, reclaiming control, and creating a living space that truly nourishes your soul. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to integrate it into your life. Your thoughts are invaluable, and your experiences can inspire others who are embarking on a similar journey. Reading your comments provides us with great motivation and encouragement, fueling our passion for creating content that informs, inspires, and empowers. O loving God, those seniors who are watching now, grant them strength, peace, and joy in these golden years. Ease their burdens, surround them with love, and fill them with your comforting presence. May they find contentment in each day, knowing they are cherished and blessed. Amen. If you enjoyed this video, and if you found it genuinely helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and share it with anyone who might benefit from its message. Your support enables us to continue creating content that makes a real difference in people's lives. Thank you for watching. We deeply appreciate your time, your attention, and your willingness to embark on this journey with us. We look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, may your days be filled with clarity, purpose, and the enduring joy of a life well lived.